Good morning. Welcome back to Chraetor Creative, where creative minds come together. I'm your host, Robert, and I'm glad to have you here with me. So we're continuing our live gameplay of a Vengeance Paladin in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. And on top of continuing the live gameplay, we are continuing to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Now, I was trying to discuss some of this in my stream earlier this week, and I ended up getting just a little bit sidetracked. You know, life happened, things happened, had a good time with people. All good, but I did want to continue discussing some of the stuff going on. Partly with what I'm writing, partly just with what's going on in general. Pardon me. So I think what I really wanted to talk about this time, and something that really concerns me, we have this upcoming change that we're anticipating, the switch from 5e to 5.5, and there's certain things that we're expecting, and I'm not necessarily a fan of everything that we're expecting. The biggest one that concerns me is the elimination of the short rest. Because here's the thing, short rests are an important mechanic. I really feel that they are. And I'll explain why. You see, the reason that I say that it's an important mechanic is the fact that, well, in regards to certain classes, I don't think that the short rest can just be erased. In particular, what I'm thinking of is the Warlock, which I was discussing with somebody, and their thought was that the Warlock is the reason that we're going to have this change. And it's like, well, probably. I can see where that thought process comes from. Cool, now I think I have 2 of those. Not that I need 2 of them. Let's see, fastest way to check it actually is in here. Find curved swords. Oh, I didn't grab it last time. Okay, I have 1 wing of Astel. My fault. Pardon me. But, their thought is that they're getting rid of short rest because of the broken stuff you can do with, like, sorcerers, multi-classing with sorcerer and warlock and stuff. And I was like, okay, I see what you're talking about. I smell what you're stepping in, I understand. Yeah, there's definitely some broken stuff, and that creates an issue. But here's the thing, if you get rid of short rests, the Warlock has no way to balance itself out. You can't really do that and have the Warlock work, because then it's just a spellcaster who can do nothing but cast cantrips for most of the day. Gets 2 normal spells and a bunch of cantrips, and that's it. There is nothing else to it. it needs those short rests to be able to get those spell slots back so that it can spam certain parts of its spells. Like, that's... it needs that. And so I don't think there's a way to replace that. The only thing that you can do after that point is to say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to give them more spell slots per day because there's no longer a way for them to recover them. Well, here's the issue with that. If you give them more spell slots per day, you've made a wizard. We have wizards already. If I wanted to be a wizard, I'd play a wizard. I picked Warlock because I wanted to play Warlock. Like, there's a reason there's a difference. And to fix it by making them the same, pardon me, that's not fixing it. I think that's going to be a mistake on the part of 5th edition. Just straight up a pure mistake. That actually kind of hurt. So we're at least reaching a point where the game's actually a little bit more difficult. But anyways, there's, in my mind, in my opinion, there's no way to balance out the Warlock with the way that they're planning things, or the way they seem to be planning things. And so I hope they don't get rid of the short rest. There's other abilities that the Warlock is the most egregious example of why it is important to retain the short rest. But there's other examples as well. Anybody that has an ability that recovers on a short rest, like, here's the thing. The thought process that I've heard is that it seems to be a number of times per day. The switch from recovering it on a short rest seems to be can be used a number of times per day equal to the proficiency modifier. And like, that's a great concept. However, there's major issues with that. By the time you're getting to late levels, you have an issue. Like, how many D&D games have you ever played? How many 5th edition games have you honestly participated in where you had enough times to do, had enough time to do 3, 4, 5, even 6 short rests in one day? I haven't. I've had time for 1 or 2. On occasion, there has been time for a 3rd. But usually, that's it. Like, there's not often enough time for a 3rd, and I've never encountered a 4th, 5th, or 6th short rest. And so, the reason I bring this up is if it's going to a number of times per day equal to proficiency bonus for certain skills, they're imbalanced, because at a certain point you're going to be able to use them much more frequently than than they were originally designed to be used. And furthermore, you're going to be able to spam them back to back. You can use an ability 3 times in a row. When they're meant to be used once, and then you have to rest before you can use them again. And there's no way to make that work if you get to use this stuff a number of times per day. Ow. Why couldn't it let me roll? And so, I think there's going to be certain issues that are going to arise because of that. Like, it's not balanced for being able to be spammed. It's not balanced for being able to be used so many times in a day. It's simply not. So, certain skills are going to be way too powerful. The Warlock's going to be completely destroyed. Like, the elimination of the short rest is a mistake, and I really think this needs to be brought to Wizard's attention, because it's wrong. They're an entire team of people. I'm sure they've had to have thought this out. Somebody in their team has to have realized the implication of what getting rid of the short rest means. What exactly they're getting rid of and what they're destroying. I can't be the only one who's realized certain things are going to be overpowered while other things are going to be completely destroyed. Anyways, that's my rant as far as short rests and stuff go. As far as the book that I'm writing, I do still have to have further discussions with the publisher, because it is meant to be compatible with 5e. But 5e is perhaps on its way out. I really hope not. I really enjoy 5th edition. And I don't like all the seemingly proposed changes for 5.5, so we might end up changing it to be compatible with 5.5, in which case I have to rebalance certain things. I'll probably just get rid of the Warlock subclasses that I've come up with, which would really be a shame because there's some really fun and interesting things in there. Oh, that was not nice of you. I might keep it with Warlocks and stuff in there and compatible with 5.5 and add in supplemental rules or options to make it compatible with, or to keep it compatible with 5e and add optional supplemental rules to convert things to be compatible with 5.5 if I'm giving clear guidelines on what the changes and differences are, and I can try to adjust it with certain things in mind. And we also have to see what other changes to other role-playing games is coming up, to see what else might need to be adjusted to become compatible with other gaming options. Because there are other tabletop role-playing platforms and my goal is to be just compatible in general. Morning. How's vacation? Oh, two of those evil things. Alright, down you go. That doesn't work without magic. Oh, it's going alright. I, definitely am a little sore. Okay, there's one. Oh, that's alright. That's to be expected. How are things there? As exciting as you were wanting it to be? Actually, I'm kind of surprised that... Shouldn't you be at the beach right about now? Enjoying all the beach bodies and all the beach hotties? Okay, rest to get rid of the poison. Are you sure it's only the girls that you're looking at? Yeah, I haven't been to that beach in particular, but I do know that there's the beach is rather nice. Wrong potion. Although he's not taking as much damage as I would like. Now I'm a little happier with it.
'Twas more of a challenge than I envisioned. Now I can finally stand before them. This is farewell, my dear. Tell Bly and E.G. I love them.
I don't know, I'm still fairly overpowered. I mean, he didn't even get to touch me once. And I think I've pretty much decided the best thing to do here, unless you really, really want to search the Lake of Rot, which there's some good stuff here, so... We don't talk about Bruno. See, I'm not even sure if there's going to be enough. I was hoping I had enough potions to, just run right through. Because I thought we agreed we wouldn't talk about me getting crabs. Yeah, I might not have enough health potions to make it. I forgot how quick this stuff can kill you. My barbarian character managed to get through the Lake of Rot without an issue. Although he also has a ton of health. Oh, but since you're on and watching, I can ask you to get another's opinion. What exactly do you, how do you feel about the idea of the elimination of short rests and just increasing the amount of times that abilities that are balanced on the short rest can be used? No, go away. I don't want to be hit with your stupid pest threads. Nuisances. See, I'm really concerned with how overpowered certain things are gonna be. Thank you for rolling, finally. And then I don't know if you were here for the first part. It makes me very sad for warlocks, because I can't see any way to make them work without short rests, without turning them into basically wizards with a different name. I know last night I was putting a lot I was going to do for balancing between 5.5 and 5e, and it was occurring to me that certain things are going to be pretty much destroyed by that change if they actually follow through with it. See, we really don't need the cinematic. I probably should have used my runes before coming down here. I suppose so. And I mean, I guess an option is they could just make a warlock a specific type of wizard. Well, see, if I remember correctly, the Mimikyu actually does pretty bad in this fight. Now, I mean, if you get to late level, you could use an ability 6 times and use it back to back when it was originally designed to be used once every short rest, which most games you're not going to get too much. Okay, yeah. Enjoy the beach. I don't know if I've ever stunned Estelle before. I probably have. See, am I safe from the meteors here? I am. Nice. And down it goes. He gave a lot. I'm pretty happy with that. But that there, boys and girls, is why I firmly believe that milestone leveling is a little bit better than experience leveling. Gets rid of the need to grind and to murder hobo everything. I think I may have messed up and forgotten to go get the ring. Because I think that just opens automatically if you have the ring, right? Oops. So I need to go visit Mama Renala. But milestone, once you reach a certain point, you just level up instead, which, I mean, depending on how you look at it and how you run it, might be a little railroady, but you can definitely keep it from feeling that way. You can adjust milestones accordingly. Oh god. I really hate her. Okay, go back this way. I do have to say, there is so much inspiration for different creatures and stuff in this game that can be added into my tabletop role-playing book. And of course, not exact copies, because nobody worth their pen puts in an exact copy, but the inspiration in this game is so rich and so much. I almost wish that I had started with this at the beginning, started playing this at the beginning of writing the book, because it's like, well, there's a lot of things I might have done a little different. But now I put in so much work, I don't want to just change everything. Instead, it's like, well, we'll find a happy medium. Add in new stuff. Be ready for the stuff to follow. I know that the one that's coming out initially is tentatively titled Avid's Almanac of Chraetor, which is where the Chraetor Creative comes from. The Chraetor in that, Chraetor. That is the name of the world that I'm creating. But then there's already somewhat of a plan for a follow-up. Avid's Almanac. And Avid is the dude that, he's just going to be a prevalent character. Or not. It's Avid's Almanac of Chraetor, so that's not the follow-up, that's the original one. It's Avid's Tabletop Arsenal is the one that there's already somewhat of a plan to, follow up with. Oh, well, that hurt. It's kind of BS. There was nowhere to get behind and nowhere to get out of the way, but not a big deal. Oh, good boy, Odin. You're such a good mascot. My little dog is sleepy after a morning of trying to attack the toes I just had surgery on. He doesn't understand why I don't want him to mess with them. He's like, but please, I just want to lick them and nibble on them. And I'm like, but please, I just don't want to kick you across the room. But he's a good boy now. He's laying here next to me and cheering me on. Oh, something's going on outside. That was a very loud noise. You know, you would think they would patch out some of the glitches they have with their big dragon bosses. Because there's definitely some major issues. Like, he shouldn't move so far that he teleports away. He probably shouldn't float in air like that. My poor Mimic. He's like, but dude. Can you imagine if D&D mimics worked the same way as the mimic tiers here? Like, you could catch one and train one and have it become a copy of you, not just a pretend chest. That could be so cool. There we go. Much better. Although I think I still won't get Dung Eater's puppet because I think I've messed up. I think before doing all this I had to finish Seluvis's quest. But 'tis not a big deal. Alright, let's go ahead and activate the Grace, and I think that's actually where we're going to go ahead and end it. I've ranted plenty about D&D for now. Got through Noxtella, which is all we really needed to do there. Well, the part of Noxtella we were in, fought Astel. 2 bosses, I think that's pretty good. So, anybody that tuned in, listened to the rant, thank you so much, I appreciate it. Hopefully you got something out of it. And I will see you guys next time.